Hi everyone, a simple gardener here, getting ready to put the potatoes in the ground. I'm over in the South Cobb County, Georgia area, about 20 days before our last frost, and get these potatoes in. As a rule, you want to get them in 2 to 4 weeks. I got them in a little later because we had a lot of rain. I wanted this to dry out a little bit because I didn't want there to be so much rain that the potatoes rotted before they had time to really go. So let me show you what we're going to be planting here today. Start off with, here's 4 pounds of seed potatoes that I bought from Tractor Supply. These are just some basic Yukon Gold. Now these are some Yukon Gold potatoes that we actually got from the grocery store, and you can see what they did. So I saved them, figured we can plant them, see what they'll do. Here's the chunks that I cut off, some of them, when we were getting ready to cook. I couldn't let this go to waste, so I cut some chunks. They've been sitting around for about a week or so now. Meant to get them in the ground earlier, but like I said, with all the rain, kind of held me back. And then I have a pile of potatoes. This is a little over 7.5 pounds from last year. So figure, what the heck, let's get them in the ground. Let's see what happens. You never know. The mixture, some of these were supposed to be russet, some of them are Yukon Golds, and then of course the little red ones, I'll throw those in there too. Now you want to plant these, you want to try your best not to break these off, because you get to breaking these off, well, that's the part that's got to grow. So I'm going to get all these in the ground, and I'll come back. I'm going to get them about a foot apart, see how many I can get in. I may not have enough room for everything, so I've got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows I'm going to do right here. Short rows, maybe 10 feet down to about 8 feet wide or long. So we'll see what happens. Let me get them in the ground and then I'll come back. All right, we got the potatoes there. These first 2 rows are the ones left over from last year. As you can see, I have a ton of those. Last couple of years I planted my potatoes in containers. Figured I'd come down here because this is where I normally plant corn. Have a real good result with corn down here, but got some corn in the freezer, so I decided not to do corn this year. So put those in the first 2 rows. I wrote down my weight so I can just reweigh that and subtract, so I'll know how many pounds I've got planted. These next two rows are the 4 pounds of store-bought seed potatoes from Tractor Supply. And those whole store-bought potatoes that we actually bought to eat, I put the first 4 of them right here. See how they do, and then just took those little chunks, spread them out up through there. So we'll see how all this does. My experience with potatoes has been that the closer you grow them, you get fewer. I always get fewer potatoes. Or excuse me, closer I put them, I get more potatoes, but they're always a lot smaller. And the further I spread them out, I get fewer potatoes, but they're larger. But for the most part, it's just me and the wife now, because the kids are grown and gone. Got them off the payroll. But so we don't need a whole lot of them, just 2 or 3 big ones, and that's good for us for a meal. So what I'm going to do now is I'll just come in here and cover them up, get about 3 or 4 inches on them. And I've got the dirt from the rows piled up in between, so as they grow I can come in and kind of add a little more dirt on top of them to keep them growing, keep them, cover them up. But I'll get them all done, covered up, like I say, 3 to 4 inches, and then as they grow, when the greenery gets about 6 inches tall, I'll come in, throw some more dirt on top of them. Always leave them a couple inches up, because you don't want to cover the green up completely. You want it to be able to get to the sun. So let me get these covered up and I'll be back. All right, got all those covered up. Just loosely put it on there. I don't want to pack them in. I want them to be able to grow pretty good. Now just wait on them. Like I said, when the green gets up 6-8 inches, I'll come in, add some more soil up around them, rake it up from the in between, mound them up, keep that going. Once I'm comfortable with deciding that I'm not going to add any more soil to them, then I'll get some of my leaves down here, chopped up leaves, and put them around it, mulch around it, help retain moisture and keep everything good. That way if we get into drought, they'll still be looking good, won't have to water as much. So thanks for hanging out with us.